Hey guys, so crypto has made a huge comeback since the whole Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX scandal last year. Crypto has made a giant comeback. As you see, Bitcoin is around 71,000, which is pretty much an all-time high. So with all the buzz back in crypto, especially with all the ETFs and stuff, I thought I would show you that you can get historical crypto data for 5 years with, let's say, bar data with granularity 5 seconds with an interactive brokers as API. So let me show you how to do that with IB Sync. So then you can like analyze crypto, you can do machine learning, whatever you want, even though obviously the prediction probability is close to 50%. There's no free money, but once you have the data, you can do whatever you want. So let's get started. Okay, so like in a lot of my other videos, I have this thing just to make the notebook full screen or bigger, this container thing. But let's get started. So just like what I was saying a second ago, all the buzz, Tom Lee says Bitcoin going to 150,000. Kathy Wood says Bitcoin's going to 1.5 million in 2030. Warren Buffett won't pay $25 for all the Bitcoin in the world. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon hates cryptocurrency. SBF is in jail. Trump on crypto. He always says, I like the dollar. Anyways, okay, let's get to business. Let's get that data. Of course, if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. It'll be cool to get to 500 subscribers. But yeah, only if you like my videos. Thanks. Okay, so let's get started. So the first step, of course, is to connect to IB Sync. So we do this thing, connect to IB Sync. Util.start. Oops, I guess I ran it already. So let me restart. Okay, so the key is, like in some of my other videos, I talked about the contract type. Here it's a contract with security type crypto, and you have to have exchange equals Paxos. So let me just show you guys for a second. So like it would be like, so remember we had contract, and then we had like sec type equals like stock, sec type equals option, whatever. And we had a shortcut for it. So there's also a crypto thing. You do crypto, and that's the same as sec type equals crypto. And you can actually look at it if you have like a scratch paper, you can actually look. You can have like crypto, and then you do Control B if you're using PyCharm, and you see it's like a subclass of contract, security type crypto, symbol exchange, all that other stuff. So it's just kind of a shorthand. So here it would be like, okay, so let's say we want ETH. ETH would be ETH equals crypto, symbol equals ETH, exchange equals Paxos, currency equals USD. And then you could do also IB.qualify contracts, ETH. And then you get like all the other things like local symbol, contract ID, that sort of thing. Okay. So, so in general, there's actually many different types of cryptos. You can do this thing called IB.rec matching symbols to get all the different types of crypto contracts. So you can run this command, IB.rec, let me write it, IB.rec matching symbols crypto, and you get all these crypto contracts. I'll print it nicely like this. I'll print like the symbol and then like the description. So let's do just things on ETH and Bitcoin because those are the biggest ones. So by the way, so you can get bars and you can get granularity as small as 5 seconds, but you can't get trades. You can get something called ag trades, which are maybe sub-aggregations of trades. So it's not like the most. It's like one level before granular. But for us, it shouldn't make any difference at all. So let me show you an example. Getting 5 second bars, ETH bars. You can do something like this. You can do contract equals, as we did above with ETH. I'll call it ETH contract. Crypto, exchange, currency. I'll do this just for good practice, even though in this case you don't need it. ETH contract. And then let's say we want to get 1 minute trade ag trades. So ag trades, again, as I was saying, it's like trades, but like they aggregated it like one time before. So it's maybe like the number of trades won't be exact. So let me call this actually ETH contract. And what's cool, by the way, is you can get 5 years worth of data, which is insane. Okay, so now I did this util.df to make it in a data frame. This means this is the end date time. Let me just specify everything to make it a little bit more understandable. So I would do like contract equals ETH contract, end date time equals this. If it's like this is until the current time, I'll do this is duration string, like how long to take. Bar size settings, what to show, use regular trading hours is true, and you can see it here. You get like there is no regular trading hours for crypto, so you get the whole data no matter what. But just real quick, you cannot do keep up to date equals true, does not work. It doesn't support it, and you cannot do trades. It also will tell you use ag trades, as you see, use ag trades. Okay, so this is like 1 minute data, right? This is 5 second. This is 1 minute data. We wanted 5 second data just to show you it works. 5 seconds is much more granular. ETH 5 sec ag trades. 5 sec ag trades. Okay, so this is 5 second data for your Ethereum. Okay, just real quick, I wrote in a note here, like, if you want more information, you go to TWS and they give you information on like things, but what you can get, like ag trades is kind of like it's like trades, honestly. Like, it's not really much of a difference. It just they did like one extra aggregation behind the scenes. But anyways, and you can also get things like the bid. You don't just have to get the ag trades. You can get the bid. So now let's do the same thing, but let's do Bitcoin contract. We'll do like Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin contract. So Bitcoin contract. And then what to show, I can do bid. Use regular trading hours is true. It's true. It doesn't really matter. But let's just call this. Remember, we did here. We searched above what bit is. Bit is BTC. So it'll be BTC. And then I'll do qualified contracts. Bitcoin contract. Oh, oops. So I'll do bit 1 min ag trades. Okay, so this is like oh no, sorry, this is not ag trades, this is bid. Bit 1 min bid. Bid. Okay. So similarly, you can also do the ask. You just switch with ask. For the sake of completeness, I'll write it here. So what to show instead of bid, you could do ask, and you also could do midpoint. So we do ask, and let's call this ask. Okay, and then you have midpoint also. Oh, I kept these at 5 second bars. I meant to make them 1 minute bars, but I'll just adjust that for a second. Okay, so you can also do midpoint. And let's adjust this to 1 minute because that's what I said I would do. Okay, so 1 minute. Not that this matters, but I just wanted to align with the markdown comment. So this will be 1 minute. Okay, so now it should work. So we got the midpoint. Okay, so now I just want to show you how you can get. By the way, you can also like do something like this. You don't just have to write end date time like this. You can also write date time dot date, and then you can write like the year 2024 1 3 or 1 4, and then you get a similar thing, or you can write it in a string format. So maybe I'll write this as a string format. Like you can do you could write it as a string format also. Like you could do like, I don't know, 2024 01 01. It gives you the format 1 1, and then I need the U.S. Eastern. I think you need the time zone, U.S. Eastern, and I need the hours and seconds, I guess. So let me just write. I actually prefer to work with date, because if you work with date, you get the actual date, you get the whole date worth of value, and if you work with this full timestamp, you get less than it. You get like, this is the last point. So I recommend only working with the date. But anyways, just to show you guys like intuition. But now you can get like Bitcoin 5 years back. So let's do Bitcoin. Let's say monthly bars 5 years back. I'll call it bit monthly. And then what do we want? We want bar size is 1 month. And then we want duration string. Let's do 5 years. 5 years is the maximum you can do. Even by parts, like there's like, it's about 5 years. I'll write end date time is current time. And then I'll just show you guys like what I mean. So like if I do, okay, let's say I do date time is, daytime that date is like 2 years ago. I'll do like 2022-01-1. You'll see that the first point is basically like 2019 somewhere. And let's do what to show is ag trades again. So as you see, the first point is March 2019, and then it goes monthly bars end of the month. And it doesn't matter if I put 2021 here, this is the earliest point. So like it's worth noting that that's the earliest point, but why don't we just make end date time here? We'll get all the date. So you know what, let's say we want a ton of data for like, let's say 5 second or 1 minute bar. We can't do this type of thing, because like if you do this, like say, I'll just say like I'll say time out when you ask for too much data for a high granularity. And so basically, if you try to do something like this ib.rec historical data, and maybe I'm going about this too fast because I have a few videos that are similar to this that I want to point out, that people are familiar with my channel, like know I have videos very similar to this thing. But let's say I were to run this ib.rec historical data. If I were to instead, let's say do bar size setting equals, let's say 5 seconds, right? And then I even want to take 1 week of data. Does this work? You'll get a timeout, or I think you'll get a timeout, because you're asking for too much data. So if you want to really create a giant data set, you really have to iterate through things to get that giant data set. And if you guys look at my channel, I have like 5 videos on this subject. One is like the most recent ones are probably the best one. One is like getting 1 minute data from interactive brokers much faster, and one is multi-threading in Python to download data a lot faster for interactive brokers. So these are 2 things, and then there's like a few other ones on some of my oldest videos on getting bar data from interactive brokers, historical and live. We can't get live, but we can get historical. And then, yeah, I have one on getting tick data, but for some reason I can't get tick data for crypto. Soon, see, look what I said. It's gonna give you a timeout error. So that's why you have to do it by parts when you want like high granularity, like 5 seconds, and you want to cross a lot of time. For 5 second data specifically, what I recommend is like, is in like my video I just talked about, getting bar data from interactive brokers. When you want 5 second data, you should probably save each 5 second, like each day as a separate file. So like one for January 12th, one for January 13th, and then at the end combine them together, because otherwise you get a lot of timeouts. But like, let's say you're doing granularity of 1 month, then you can do the method I will discuss below. So, and this is like in some of the other videos I just mentioned, talk about like a very similar way to do it, but like we can create this type of function. And for past experience, like 1 minute data, from my experience, if you want 1 minute bars, you can get away with using a duration string of 1 week. So let me just show you. And remember, like I didn't show it in this video, but like what this ib.rec historical data does is it gives you this bars object, which is like a list of these bars. And then I just did util.df to get the data frame, and util is from ib and sync import util. I just didn't import star, so I imported everything. But anyways, just in case you guys didn't watch my other videos. Okay, so like now, so the key is like, okay, we want to get like bar data with high granularity for like 5 years, right? So we can iterate our way through it, starting backwards. So let me just show you guys a quick example. So let's assume we do request historical data, and we have this end date time that ends in 7:55 and 45 seconds. What you'll see is if you look at the last bar, you'll see that it ends at 40 seconds. So this is not inclusive. Like this is like the endpoint of the bar. So like that's useful because when we're going to iterate backwards, we're going to use that information. So like the end date time is not inclusive. It goes up to 40, and these are 5 second bars. And okay, and also if you look at the first bar's time, you get 15, right? So if we want the backwards to start from here, we would put this information in our end date time. So the idea is just to iterate backwards. This is actually much easier than with equities, because equities have like days where the market is closed and have hours. This doesn't. But the data can still be messy and not perfect. So please, please, please do some sort of quality checks if you're going to use get data and use this code and that sort of thing. But the idea is, let's say we want to make a function to get 1 minute bars. So let me show you guys a way to do it. So I have this helper function that's called makeDF, and it takes the bars, and all it does is from these bars, it gets the data frame with util.df, it sets the index to the date, and it gets rid of the Eastern time thing. It just gets rid of that, just because that causes problems when there's daylight savings. Like there's some Python issues. Sometimes it's +5, sometimes it's +4 from UTC. So personally, this is just what I do to help with that. But I could be wrong, but it's what I've been doing. And it could be that it's right for equities but wrong for Bitcoin. But the thing that tripped me up previously is that daylight savings created a +5 and a +4, and later on it just screwed things up. But anyways, so the idea is literally just to go backwards in time. You start with an end date. So you pass like the contract start end date. You start with the end date, and oh sorry, so I should do something like okay. So like I gave a default argument, end date is like this. So I'll do like something like this. If end date doesn't equal this, then we'll use the string thing. So basically what what it is I'm gonna pass a string in this format, year/month/date, for start and end date. But if I don't pass end date, I just do it as like the quote thing, it'll just be like until the current time. But if I do, meaning this is not that, I'll need to do this like parsing. And what this parsing does is it takes it from string to date time. Okay, so like what we're gonna do is we're gonna go backwards in time from the latest thing and date, and then we're gonna do this df make bars to get the data frame. And we're gonna append it to a list of data frames. I guess this is not relevant for this code. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna then for each time we get the bars, the first bar is going to be the end date for the next iterations bars we get. So that's why I call it end date, but it's referring to the first bar. And I do this replace tz info with none because start date is not no time zone is specified, because I guess the default is like I wrote in my IB gateway instrument time zone. So there's like a configuration settings, and there's like API settings. There's something about like instrument time zone. So just make sure for yours this works. But because my start date here does not have a time zone, if I don't do this dot replace tz info is none, then it'll give me an error. It can't compare time zone naive to time zone things. Anyway, so that's why I did this. So basically I iterate backwards, and when start is greater than end date, then I stop, and then I combine everything together with the pd.concat. I sort the index. So let me just show you guys how this will work. Let's do from December 27th to January 3rd as a first example. Oh, and I did 1 day at a time, but you can actually do 1 week at a time. But for 5-second data, you should do 1 day at a time. And I also recommend like splitting it up even further. So as you see, I do retrieving data for this. Oops, I printed out a little bit of more information. So this is like 1 week total. So I guess this is a bad example because it's just gonna finish like basically. It's not even get to the it might not even get to the second iteration because, oh, I guess it did. So like yeah, it was just, so you get 7 extra days worth of data just because the cutoff happened to be like that. So anyways, just to show you guys this df thing. And you guys, I know that there are some data issues, so you have to be very careful. So let's say like you could do df.time equals df.index.time. That gets the time portion of this. And then if you do value counts, you'll actually see that some of them have more than others. So you have to be very careful with this type of stuff. You know, maybe a better way to show it is if I just kept this at 1 day, even though you can go 1 week. You'll kind of see that like, so we're going backwards in time. You'll see like that there's some days like this that need some investigation. Like maybe it's because New Year had a lot less volume. Because it's kind of weird that it has less. I did false just for the hell of it. You see, use regular trading hours doesn't matter. Anyways, you guys should check this because I don't really deal with cryptocurrency much, but I just felt like, because like there's interest that maybe I would do a video on it. But like you guys should double check, see that these things make sense. Why is the data missing here or not missing? You should really check that. Anyways, but this is like the way you would do it. You would get a data frame. Another way to maybe look at this is like you can do df dot reset index date, index date, and then date.diff, and then you see that these are 1 day apart, and then I can do something like value counts. You see that there is that 11-hour gap or whatever. I think this is this thing. And it doesn't make, I think this might be this thing, but you see, like, okay, almost all of them are just 1 minute apart, but there's some with 4 minutes apart, some with 1 minute apart. So there is some missing data. The question is why there's some missing data. So you have to be very careful in using this thing. But anyways, like this is like one way to do it, where you get data for like a list of days. I mean, you can get it until the current time, like just do this thing. Like in my code is like this. And you can get 5 years worth of data if you do like this. So I did 1 day, duration string 1 day. Maybe I should actually, like, I can make this like an argument. I can make this like duration string equals 1 day. And then I can do some like bar size equals, and then duration string. And let's do bar size equals, let's make it 1 minute by default. So then like the user can choose the duration string and the bar size. Bar size. Anyways, this is just ideas. I hope you found this useful. If you found this useful and you didn't subscribe, please like and subscribe. Let's just make sure this works. Let's do let's just do an example with maybe 5-second bars. But remember, so it does work, but there is a caveat. So look, what I did here is I did duration string 360 seconds. Because 360 seconds, by the way, is 6 minutes. I guess maybe that duration string is a little bit too extreme. But I had 1 day didn't work anymore when I went down to 5-second bars. So that's the reason I did this duration string 360 seconds. And just to show you guys, just to show you guys that 1 day didn't work. I mean, okay, this might take a little bit of time. Okay, you guys get the point. But 1 day doesn't work. And this shows you guys with like 5 seconds, 1 day is not good enough. For crypto, for equities, it actually does end up working without a timeout. And I guess I should rename this to not be called 1 minute data fast, because I made it more general now. But okay, so 1 day doesn't work. By the way, you cannot do hour. You only can do second, day, week, minute, year. So we did 6 minutes last time. Why don't we make it 1 hour? So 1 hour is 60 times 60 is 3,600 seconds. 1,600 seconds. Let's go. This is going to be much faster. See, it goes 1 hour at a time. Okay. And let's so you get the data frame like this. And of course, you need data integrity. So we'll do this check like last time, where we look at like the difference between the bars. And you would in a perfect world assume they're all 5 seconds apart, unless there is no data in a 5-second interval. But with crypto, it's hard to imagine that's the case. And here there was like a gap of like hours, 10, 11 hours. So that's impossible. But like, so for data validity, I guess yeah, this is also not possible. 5 seconds is what you want for most of the data, but there's like some where it's missing data. So why is it missing data? I don't know. Like, data is definitely not perfect. Just be careful. Just for the sake of completeness, we can do the minute example. Sorry. We can do the minute example with 1 week. So, you know what? Let's do like 5 mins, and let's do 1 week just to show you guys. And let's do, we can go like this, and then you get like the data for 1 week at a time. And look how fast this is. So anyways, I hope you guys learned something. If you guys learned something, please like and subscribe. I said that twice. Anyways, thank you guys, and see you in the next video.